Watch him throw the ball, we gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through fourth and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Die.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to another episode of Trap or Die Podcast. I'm your host of the Trap or Die Podcast, Mual, in here with Dre. AJ is on the way. J Tizzy, I see you. Benz, I see you. What's going on, player? For me, it's welcome to the weekend. I don't know about y'all, but if in the event that you are listening to this, welcome to the weekend, man. If it's your weekend. If you are on the YouTube side, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Definitely appreciate that. If you are on the audio side, man, Apple, Spotify, make sure you hit that follow button. It is with a rating and review as well. It takes 5 seconds to do so, and it's free to show your support that way as well. Another administrative item, the Commanders Morning Show. We're live tomorrow, 6 a.m. Up is my off day, but your boy's still working. You hear me? So 6 a.m. tomorrow, right here on Trap or Dive. Watch the Commanders Morning Show. And the post-game show on Sunday. I think that's all the administrative items. Will be live immediately after the Cowboys Commanders game, breaking down everything that we just saw. Dre, what it do, man? How you feeling, dog?
Hey, I always feel good on Thursday, especially because we didn't play last Sunday. We had a game last Thursday, and I'm just so anxious to shut all the noise up, let Jaden get back out there doing Jaden things. And plus, man, it's back to the betting weekend, man. You know I love the betting weekends, the football games, shit, everything, NBA going on. So we're going to have a good night, Mo.
Hey, we're going to have a good night, man. Cheers to some parlays hitting, bruh, and some money being spent on some good steak dinners. You hear me? But I got to tell you about one thing since we talking about parlays, bruh. You on FanDuel?
Yeah, that's what I use.
Okay, all right. So FanDuel does that weekly thing where they have like your parlay booster, right? Your percent booster for like college football. Like the more legs you add to your parlay,
Yeah,
the
boost
more
builders.
The boost builder. That's what they call it. Bruh. Oh my God, I had to play for the ass, bro. And this is 2 weeks in a row. I had Boise State. Excuse me, it was Boise State versus San Jose State. I had San Jose State plus 14.5. I had USC minus 7.5 against Nebraska. I had 2 other legs, right? All the other legs hit. Oh, Kansas, my bad. Kansas plus 3.5. So that was a night game. So Kansas plus 3.5. San Jose State plus 14.5. USC minus 7.5, and one more leg that I'm not thinking of right now. That don't even matter. Bruh, San Jose State and Boise State was going back and forth the whole game, bruh. I'm watching the game on the quad box, bruh. San Jose State had a 2 touchdown lead at one point, right? They end up giving the lead up. Cool, I don't care. Plus 14.5, just cover the 14.5. I'm like, the way they playing, bro, they're going to be going back and forth. We in Tennessee. We get to the bar. Bruh, I start looking at the score. It's like they go up. Boise State goes up 14 with like 2 or 3 minutes left. So you know what that means? Like, if San Jose gets stopped, or if Boise State gets the ball back, the game is over. I'm fine. I'm like, I swear to God, bro, I said this in my head, Dre. Bro, I said the only way I lose is if they get a pick 6 or a fumble return for a touchdown, bro.
I already know where this is going.
I look at the score, bro. Not even 2 minutes later, bro, they up 21.
Oh,
I said, bro. And then on top of that, because Kansas is the night game, Kansas covers. So I go 3 or 4 in the parlay, bro. I'm like, son, ain't no way this is my luck, bro.
That's
like,
the worst way to lose, bro.
Son, you give up a return for a touchdown, bro. Like, out of all the things that's like one of the highest odds to happen, you give up a return for a touchdown, bro. I couldn't believe it.
Cover. Because like you said, if Boise State get the ball back, if they stop them on 4 downs, that's it. They kneel in the ball. You going home. You got your
son. I'm over here in the bar, teed up, bro. I'm like, and now I gotta hear the Vikings fans because we in Nashville, so Vikings in there. We gotta hear the Skol chants and the horns blowing in the bars, bro. And I'm like, bro, y'all doing all this shit, and I just lost my parlay, bro.
You don't want to hear none of that shit.
I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that, man. It was bad, bro. But Sunday treated me well, bro. That hurt. Okay, let's get into the show, man. I'm glad that Washington's back. I'm glad that the Dallas weekend is here. I'm not gonna lie to you, Dre. I think the last 2 weeks, I don't know if you've been paying close attention to Dallas, because I know 2 weeks ago they had the 425 national slate against the Philadelphia Eagles, and then last week was the Monday night against Houston, Texas, or meaning this week. And I thought that they played their best football, and I'm not even lying. They played their best football, and they still found a way to get blown out.
You talking about against the Texans? They played their best football. You think
against the Texans? And I think defensively they played their best football against the Eagles, and they still got blown out. I say that to say, I don't know how. There's 2 things that I think of on the morning show, because I gotta piece this up. On the morning show, I said that Washington should win this game with ease. And I believe that Washington will win this game with ease. But I am not a liar when I say all of that. And I also think, how many times can you play your best game in a row and get blown out? That's what I'm thinking of. So like, I want to be objective when I talk about the game, because it's like I feel like I have a blind spot somewhere, and I'm not sure where it is. Tell me if I'm tripping. Chat, tell me if I'm tripping and if I'm having a blind spot, because I just think that this is a game that Washington should win with ease. And like, maybe I'm tripping and saying that they have an opportunity to play their best game and actually keep it close. I have a hard time seeing it. But I'm just not a fool to see their last 2 games and say, like, how many times can you really play a good game and still get blown out? That's kind of where I'm at. And maybe they just suck. I just don't. Maybe they just suck, bro.
And it's funny you say that because I look at it the other way. It's like, yeah, they weren't playing bad, and I did pay attention because I had actually bet the Cowboys with the spread against Houston, thinking that they would cover. But I mean, if you keep playing your best game, if those are your best games you think they're playing to this point, then they might be due for an even worse game or a bad game, so to speak, and where it really gets the doors blown off of them. But I mean, you look at that Cowboys team, the issue lies in, I mean, they just injured as hell. And then they also at the point where you got a head coach who is probably a lame duck coach at this point. I mean, you hear the comments coming out of it. Jerry's undermining the guy on the radio. Micah Parsons has even made certain comments to the media. So I don't even think the team is just fully all there as far as mentally, if they're ready to like run through a wall for this guy. I mean, and then again, like I said, you got the key critical injuries. I mean, they got a lot of dudes on defense that's been injured, but it's weirdly enough, DeRon Bland's coming back this week. It's like, you know, these guys circle Washington is to come back. He hasn't played a game all season, but he's about to come back and play. I don't know what the situation is with their offensive line, but I mean, yeah, the defense right now is the best thing they got. And, you know, it's probably going to be similar to the Titans when we play them next week. The Titans defense is one of the better ones in the NFL. So, I mean, you still got to account for that. But the problem is you don't have the offense to stick with anybody. And at some point, a defense gets exhausted. We just seen that last week with Washington. Like, we held the Eagles for 3 quarters. Saquon Barkley's pretty much bottled for 3 quarters. But how long can you keep a talented offense down when your offense isn't on the other side, isn't performing? So, you know, after a while, a defense gets exhausted, which is what you've seen with the Cowboys, with the Texans and the Eagles. Like the defense, yeah, they're going out there, they're playing some good ball and all, but if you can't score or keep up with the other team on offense, eventually that defense is going to break because you can still run the ball on them if they're not up in the game, you know, or it's no threat to them in the game. And, you know, you're going to wear that defense down eventually. So that's the issue that the Cowboys are facing right now. Like offensively, they are one of the worst teams in the NFL. And Mual, I'm with you. Like, I don't think this should be a close game. I'm actually viewing this game similar to how the Carolina game went. I just don't think the Cowboys have enough on offense to stay with a team with a talented offense in the NFL right now.
So you mentioned Saquon. Oh, by the way, that was my burning question, by the way. I should have mentioned that off rip. But you mentioned Saquon. And I think that there's one important thing to note. It's not a counter to your point. It's more so acknowledging they don't got like a person that's just going to take over a game offensively. They got Micah on the defense side of football, right? And fortunately for Washington, so far this season, Micah has been, I mean, he's been dealing with injuries too. Got to take that into account. But he ain't been taking over no games. You got to account for him, but he ain't been taking over no games. But I say that to say offensively, Washington isn't really dealing with a threat. CD is a respectable receiver. He's a top tier receiver, in the same range as Terry McLaurin, no doubt about that. Like, he's a good receiver, but I mean, he don't have, like, the last time that boy, what's that boy? What is that man's name? Hold on one second. Cooper Rush. The last time that Cooper Rush played Washington, he had CD. I think Amari Cooper.
This was 2022 when we had Carson Wentz, right?
Yeah, we had Carson. They had Brandon Cooks. Michael Gallup wasn't the shell of himself yet, I don't think.
And they still had Zeke too.
Pollard for sure.
Yeah.
Zeke was on the decline. The decline. But point being, and saying all that, and Dalton Schultz, I don't know if I said that already. He had weapons around him, and he had an offensive line that was still pretty good. I don't think it's the same right now.
No.
And I think that's kind of the difference. And also that's why I was like, when you mentioned Saquon, I understood that point when it comes in relationship to the Eagles, but Dallas ain't in the same boat. So that's where I'm like, bro, am I tripping? And apparently, you understand where I'm coming from. Jay Tizzy says that we have to jump on the Cowboys early, can't let them hang around. Ben says the same things because that's how you end up losing. So yeah, I think we're all on the same page here. We know that it shouldn't be close, but you don't want them to hang around too much. And also, now that I think about it, that goes into the point of being able to finish games, bro. The last couple weeks, missed opportunities. I mean, sure, you scored 27 points against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You should have scored. You could have scored 40. You had. I put this in my article. I think you had like 7. I should have brought the article up. I think you got like 7 3-and-outs in the last 2 games for offense that was at one point number 3 or top 3 in yards and points. Your last 2 weeks, you had 7 or 8 3-and-outs in the game. At one point where you couldn't get off the field offensively. And that's acknowledging the fact that you're playing top tier defenses, right? But it's the fact that, you know, when you have those struggles, you keep teams in the game. And no denying, Washington had leads in both games. Like, I mean, no denying. I mean, it's obvious. You watch the game. They had leads in both games. But when you have those moments where you can't even establish a drive, that's where I'm like, all right, yeah, to Jay Tizzy and Ben's point, I don't want to make it seem like doom and gloom. That's what it's coming across. But I'm just getting to the point of, like, that's why you can't let these guys hang around. This is a game where I'm like, I look at even defensively, bro. Like, they're shelling themselves. That secondary isn't the same. They're allowing explosive, meaning the Cowboys. Their secondary isn't the same. They're allowing explosive plays in the run and pass game. Joe Mixon went crazy on them. Nico Collins housed a quick screen or whatever it was. If it wasn't for a legal formation or something like that, or an ineligible man downfield, like, that had nothing to do with the play. So that kind of shows you, like, the fact that they was able to execute on the play side. Yeah, bro. It shouldn't be close. It shouldn't be close, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Like I said, and actually, my point when I brought up Saquon was to mean that Dallas, they come up with this plan. I mean, they are almost in a similar boat as us, Ben. Well, when you mentioned it, that they have got blown out, but they're playing good defense, is because that defense isn't. I mean, while they're playing above and beyond, their offense isn't doing enough to keep the other team or keep themselves in the game. Or once that starts spiraling, Dallas' whole game plan has to change. Like, whereas earlier in the game, you can, rush to Rico Dowdell, you can give him the ball. But then later in the game, when you start the wheels start to unravel, now you have to rely on Cooper Rush the whole game. Now, Washington's different. We're in a different boat. We have a Jaden Daniels. We have we have a Brian Robinson. They may not be Saquon, like Brian Robinson's not a Saquon, of course, but Brian Robinson is still a formidable back. He's better than anything Dallas has right now. Like Rico Dowdle, he's not a bad running back, but he's a second running back in the NFL right now. He was good when he was spelling Tony Pollard, but now when you have him as the lead back, you need a little bit more than that as Dallas. Like Zeke is pretty much done. This is probably his last year in the league. So, yeah, they just don't have the weapons or the horses right now to kind of stay with for Washington. So their defense could play good at some certain portions of the game, but at some point the levee's going to break. So, in an offense like Washington, you may hold them down for a little bit, but you're not going to hold them all game. Well, at least when Jaden Daniels is playing up to the power or level that we know Jaden Daniels could play at. So, no, I mean, again, AJ's here now. We was talking about this last night, but yeah, I do not, and I don't want to get ahead of myself or sound too cocky or confident, but I just don't see how this game stays close if Washington's offense can bring it to the level we've seen them for the majority of the season.
What's good, fellas? How's it going today?
And everything's swell, brother. How are you doing?
Hey, man, everything is
welcome to the show.
It's perfect over here. But yeah. Let me get into my quick little spill. I know I'm a little behind, but Dallas Cowboys are food right now. Like, they can't do anything right. They don't have the pieces. Of course, Micah Parsons is an amazing talent on the defensive side of the ball. But that defense is not playing as a collective overall. I think that Micah could still be disruptive, but the huge benefit in this is Dan Quinn knows that entire defense. He knows those players in and out. He also knows the offensive side of the ball from Rico Dwaddle, whatever you want to call him. Diddy, Rico Diddy, whatever you want to call him. He knows CeeDee Lamb. He knows Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush went on a run while Dan Quinn was still the DC over there. I think he was 4-1, 5-1. They try to hype him up like he was so damn good, and he was throwing for like 140 yards. Yeah, so they know these guys in and out, and they also have a former player that knows the offensive lineman in and out as well, in Dorrance Armstrong, who literally lined up everywhere on that defensive front. Man, there's no way in hell Washington loses this game with all the information they have.
Don't forget Tyler Biotish. He was a Cowboy center.
Oh yeah, Tyler Biotish as well. But like, even I caught a glimpse. Let me ask you guys: did you guys hear Joe Witt Jr.'s presser today?
I didn't.
Yeah, I heard Joe and Cliff. I was gonna get into Cliff in a second, but yeah, I heard both.
Man, that's a damn head coach, bro. Joe Witt Jr. is a NFL head coach, bro. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets a bunch of interviews, especially with how this defense is turned around. But even like the nuances of what he touched on, he says that they, like in his coaching experience with Mike McCarthy, even in Dallas and other places, they have like across the hall conversation where they would pretty much reveal like the weaknesses of what they thought like an offense could take a advantage of, or a defense could take advantage of. For example, he specifically broke down a play. I'm so glad that someone in the press room continued to ask about it, because he didn't want to say it eventually. He didn't want to say it in the beginning when he was talking about Kellen Moore. He was like, Kellen Moore tried something against me that
the San Francisco.
That we kind of touched about. Yeah. We touched about in the across the hall moments years ago. But he left it at that, and then later on it came up and he broke down the exact play that Kellen tried against San Francisco, which Luvu played perfectly. It was kind of like, damn, Luvu was prepared as hell for this double reverse or flea flick or whatever. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it just got me to thinking like how much data that Joe Witt Jr. alone, aside from what Dan Quinn can bring into the mix, have on the pros and cons and the traits of Mike McCarthy as a play caller, but also the traits, pros and cons wise, of these players that still make up majority of that Cowboys roster that they coach with, and they know from a personal standpoint and a professional standpoint.
Before I continue, just want to bridge the gap between AJ and my man Jay Tizzy. Jay Tyler agreed with you, bro. He ain't had a negative thing to say when you said something, bro. He said I said the same thing. He reminded him of Tomlin. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure y'all know that y'all on the same page today, bro. Y'all not beefing right now, bro.
Yeah, I'm never beefing with Jay Tyler, man. He just be sad. I assume he's an old head, so they be having their moments. They hot and cold.
Kind of. Jay Tizzy turned 59 earlier this year.
Damn, 59.
You serious?
Yeah, he a couple years younger than Dre.
Oh man, we can get our senior citizen breakfast at the same time.
but like I think just something to just throw out there real quick, man. Like, so many people are scared about this team possibly losing Cliff Kingsbury, but Joe Witt Jr. is a NFL head coach, bro. And I think if he gets the opportunity to sit in those interviews, he is going to blow some ownership group away with his knowledge and how he goes about attacking the game. Like, I love his pressers because he's so raw and uncut with it. And it's like, I wish there was some more people like us in the press room. And I think he would probably go viral because he would really spit out some crazy things. But it's amazing how much like coaching matters. And I thought like this defense is dead in the water, man. He done turned them boys around. Like they firing on all cylinders. Like, yeah, they gave up some plays. He touched on that today too. He's like, it's a 60-minute game, and I felt like we played only 53 minutes of it.
Yeah, man, that's bruh. If y'all, I know Jay Tizzy was around, but that's what I was like in the morning show on Wednesday, bro, I broke down the defensive tape, bro. Literally, bro, it's like I'm so happy because the defense, the defense, bro, was lights out for 3.5 quarters, bro. And then you get like a couple plays, and it's like, damn, like they need to be good, bro. And it's hard to really hold them from a fan perspective. A coach perspective, you're gonna hold them accountable. But from a fan perspective, you like, bro, if the offense can really do X, Y, Z, bro, and help them out, like they probably not even in this position to fuck up. and it's so frustrating, bro. But I know, like, from a player perspective and a coach perspective, they know that if they gotta win a game, they need to be able to put the team on their back and do that. I don't think they got the horses yet to defend a Saquon Barkley for all 60 minutes of a game yet. But same thing with Devontae and same thing with AJ Brown. Go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, I was just going to say quickly, in what we were talking about in the middle portion of the season, maybe a few weeks ago, we were asking the question is, what is this team ceiling if the defense could play at a top 15 level? I think over these last couple of weeks, the defense been playing at that type of level. Like Joe Witt is getting so much out of these guys, but it's crazy that the offense is kind of regressed, so to speak. I mean, they've been playing some great defenses, but again, as you mentioned, some of it is execution. Like the Eagles is the only game yet since at least the Buccaneers game that I felt like they got bottled up offensively. Like they weren't bottled up in the Steelers game. The opportunities were there. The execution was just poor at times. Whereas against the Eagles, it was just they struggled to get a lot going. The offensive line got bullied and everything. But again, with the defense playing at the level that they're playing right now, and assuming that they're going to keep this going, if the offense can find its footing again, we may come back to start talking about those what is this team ceiling this year question right now. I think all of that has been kind of put on halt right now just because of the little 2-game slide that they're on. Now we're kind of back to, we would just like to make the playoffs and maybe win a game here. But if the offense can get back to where they were with this defense right now, I think we're talking about a limitless ceiling again for this team.
Man, if the offense could play like they did earlier, Washington would be what? They're 7-4, right?
7-4.
They would be 9-2.
9-2, yes.
Like honestly, like that's where it's like Joe Witt Jr. is taking the blame for 53 out of 60 minutes. But if they had scored more points, just imagine what the defense could have done, against Philly. They wouldn't have even been able to run the ball. They would have had to be in passing mode. So it's just one of those things where you just hope like they can play complete games. But that was just, I know I just hopped in here hot or whatever, but yeah.
You good. Let's talk with Cliff for a second. But before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about them boys over there at Underdog Fantasy. It is the best place, as y'all know, to play champions. So sign up now, use the promo code TrapperDive to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. This season, Underdogs will be running a special promo or bonus almost every single day, like Profit Boost, where you can pump up your winners. And just a tap to apply. When you apply the boost for eligible entries, you'll get discounts as well, where you get adjusted projections on certain players' stats to give you a better shot at a big dub. Free picks as well, where things are basically a sure thing. Just pick higher on a 0.5 stat, such as Jameis Winston's passing yards. If it was up there, you got to check. It may be up there. And you'll get a dub for that. All new users do get a free pick. So I kept mentioning the red zone rush, right? They got this thing called let me check. I think it's called the air raid. And it's similar to the red zone rush, but the air raid is, let's see. I have track, there it is. Stay with me. Hold on. Oh yeah, air raid is where you got to pick receivers. Same thing like the red zone rush, where you get a touchdown, you swipe left, swipe right. Air raid is where you have to pick certain receivers or any receiver where you swipe left if you don't think they're going to get over 50 yards, and you swipe right if you think they're going to get over 50 yards in the game. Same exact concept. With red zone rush, you get touchdowns. Air raid is where you get 50 yards or more for the receiver. So I played that this week, man. I got a 5 parlay play in stock, man. I can't wait to run that one. I'm gonna share it when the time is right, aka Sunday morning. Right? for sure, I got Tyreek Hill on the jump. So just keep your heads up. Tyreek Hill over 50 yards. I think he's gonna get that. But like I said, download the app today. Use promo code TrapperDive to get up $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. I repeat, download the app. Use promo code TrapperDive to get $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. You must be 18 or older. Don't forget that. 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska. 19 plus in Colorado for some games. 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona. And present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Aboard in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. If you're in Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or call 1-800-639-8783 or text NEXT STEP to 53342. If you're in New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. Fellas, Cliff. Cliff Kingsbury spoke today. Obviously, the coordinator spoke today. I am genuinely surprised. Let me rephrase that. I'm not surprised that people think that there's a conspiracy, but I am genuinely surprised by the amount of people who buy into the conspiracy that Jaden, like they're hiding some injury of Jaden Daniels. Specifically for those who didn't listen to the presser, let me bring up the quote that got people talking a little bit, right? He said, oh, wait, is this it right here? Oh, no, that's something else. All right, let me bring up the quote. Give me 2 seconds. Here it is right here. All right. Cliff Kingsbury on Jaden Daniels. He's very tough and very competitive. He's earned a lot of respect from his teammates by battling the last few weeks. So people are wondering what Cliff meant by that. And in my eyes, I'm like, well, what did you think? Like, did you think that Jaden Daniels was 100% healthy this entire time and they're trying to sweep this controversy under the rug? Like, I don't understand where people's mind is at when you look at a Cliff Kingsbury make that statement in terms of like the term battle, right? And he's tough and he's competitive. There's no doubt that he hurt his ribs, but there's a difference between being injured and being hurt. There's several people who have the capability of playing injured based on their injury, right? There's several layers to being able to play injured, but there's also people who are good enough to play and they're just hurt. And honestly, maybe it's my athletic mind that's like making it hard for me to be able to explain in more depth. But there's a literal difference between being hurt and being injured. You can play hurt, and people respect people playing hurt because you can easily just say, man, I got this little twinge in my back, I can't play. Or you can do the opposite and say, like, I got this little twinge in my back, but I'm good, bro. I'm fighting for y'all. I'm fighting for my teammates. And I think, like, people don't understand the difference in somebody that's playing hurt and playing injured, or being put out there for injury, with an injury. So I'm gonna stop there. I think that the quote from Cliff Kingsbury has people asking these questions about what's the truth behind Jaden Daniels. But in my opinion, point blank period, I think that you're naive to think if he was playing 100% healthy, as opposed to just having something done with his ribs and he's just hurt, bro, and he's going through it like any normal competitive athlete would do. So that's where my thoughts are.
Yeah, I mean, I think the media is to blame for some of this. Not even some, majority of it. Especially some of the local beat writers and some that have bigger platforms on the radio, because the way the NFL injury report even works is if someone is injured to that extent, it has to be reported or is a major fine to that organization for not detailing what is going on with individuals, especially as my co-host just did a read for our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. There's a lot of money that goes into people investing their time and resources into the sport. So if they're not well aware of, hey, this player has this injury that could change the projections on my parlay or what's going on in Vegas, but yet alone for other teams, like their personal data, information, everything gets thrown off. So the reporting has to be accurate. Everyone is playing banged up in some way, some fashion, right? I just think that people, like someone said in here, Benz, people really just have PTSD when it comes to the quarterback position and RG3. A lot of what is going on with this fan base currently is just PTSD. Like whether it be from the losing the 2 games to the to the Steelers and the Eagles to Jaden, like you would have thought this man missed like 20 throws, bruh. Like he missed maybe 3 throws possibly, which is gonna happen. Like he's human. Like this is not, even in a video game you're gonna have incompletions. You feel me? Like only way a player can play at this point is if you turn off the injuries on Madden and not have some type of hurt, aching, whatever. That's why you have such an investment in your doctor team, the therapy, the rehab. That's why they're trying to get, a new stadium, possibly a new facility, so that you can keep these guys fresh. But everyone is banged up. I think what they're trying to do from a PR standpoint, the wrap on his rib area, is to keep it warm for circulation. When you have a rib injury, the more heat that you could add to that area helps with your blood flow. Like he's not doing that because it's cold outside. Like it could be 90 degrees out Sunday. He's still gonna do that because the rib injury is real. It's not a broken rib. It's just a bruise, but it's a lower grade tier of a bruise, and they're just doing medical things to make him, still be active and not be in a position where he contorts his body and he doesn't have that blood flow circulation there, whatever the case is. But I think the media could help out a big amount by debunking the conspiracy and just explaining to the fans more that, if someone is injured of this caliber, and if you think Jaden Daniels is still hurt from his ribs, he'd be on the injury report. Mual, I'm pretty sure you got the injury report on you. Do you see Jaden Daniels' name on there?
Nope.
So, yeah.
So what annoys me is we weren't really talking about his ribs after the Giants game. After he played a damn good game against the Giants, one of his better games this season, of all the good games he's played. And we weren't talking about the ribs. We weren't even really talking about the ribs after the Steelers game. I mean, we thought the Steelers game was not one of his best games, but we also didn't think it was a really bad game. We didn't start talking about the ribs until the Eagles game. Like the Eagles game, yeah, he missed a couple of throws. And as AJ said, I said this on Twitter earlier, that game is wildly exaggerated. No, it was not a good game for Jaden Daniels. He didn't play a good game. No, but that's fine. You can play bad games in this league or not so good games in this league for different reasons, and it doesn't have to always be injury. I think fans are kind of looking for the injury bug to feel better about it. They think that Jaden is kind of superhuman at this point. He's been great. I get it. We expect greatness from him because we've seen greatness from him at such a young, early stage. But at the same time, fans are kind of losing the fact that he's human. Again, we've watched quarterbacks go out there, play bad games. Lamar Jackson just played a bad game. Jaden played a better game against the Steelers than Lamar Jackson did. Patrick Mahomes has been playing kind of, so-so games all season, and that's the best quarterback on the planet right there. But no one's talking about injury. So, I mean, and again, the Eagles had their defensive lines beating up your offensive line all day. I think they sped up Jaden's mental clock. I'm just kind of sick of the injury excuse at this point because my thing is if he's as injured and as banged up as fans think he is, and a lot of fans are like, oh, man, he shouldn't even play. He should be sitting these games. they wouldn't even call the games the way they've been calling it. Cliff has been calling, certain quarterback design runs where he's exposed to certain hits, and they're not calling those type of plays if Jaden is so injured that he can't withstand certain hits and whatnot. I think fans just have to come to grips that every now and then Jaden may have one of these type of games. And like I said on Twitter earlier, if this is Jaden's worst, if this is the game where like, man, this guy played bad in, I'll take that all day if that's his worst game. You know what I mean? We've seen really bad games in this league. We've seen it on this team. We went through 30 of them over the last 30 years. So we know what really bad quarterback play is. And Jaden Daniels wasn't extremely bad. He just wasn't Jaden Daniels that we've kind of grown accustomed to watching on a weekly basis. So that's why I'm just kind of looking forward to this Cowboys game. I hope he can, him and the team can just kind of shake this slide off, because people just talking reckless after 2 games. Like is a 2-game slide to 2 of the best teams in the NFL right now, and fans are trying to reach for something to find a reason why this happened instead of, man, we just lost 2 football games against 2 better teams at that point in time.
I honestly, I don't even know why the hell we even listen to them. Like, it is. I guess maybe I tuned out after the Thursday night game, and then I tapped back in. And where I tapped back in was the Ben Sinnott conversation, and it's just driving me crazy because it's like.
Well, I seen that. I think people
because
they think that they're looking for answers, bro, and it's like there's
what's
nothing.
The Sinnott conversation?
They feel like he's supposed to be Travis Kelce out there, like.
I missed that. I haven't seen that.
And AJ was entertaining them motherfuckers all day. I'm like, bro, I don't even know. I was looking at that, John. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
I'm like, I don't know. I'm just like, yo, is this fan base really this stupid? I think that's what's really throwing me off. Like, it's like, are they really this stupid with all this information and resources that you have to your disposal? You're not using it to smarten yourself when you speak in conversations publicly, or like even on this type of forum. It's like you don't have to know every single nuance of football, but goddamn, can you read? Like, can you go get the information? I think that's what's making me frustrated. But I'm gonna tune out from a lot of that, because I'm truly understanding that a lot of people don't understand the nuances of football. And when it comes to this Jaden Daniels thing, he's going to continually be compared to RG3.
PTSD.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. Like, no matter how much success he has this year, next year, or during his career here, anytime he gets any nick or bruises, or he takes a hard hit, that RG3 flashback, like how That's So Raven used to have. Like,
your visions.
Yeah, they're gonna have RG3 visions. And I wonder, maybe that's the conversation we have with RG eventually. Because when we talked to him, Jaden wasn't a Washington Commander. Now, with him being there, it just seems like anytime something, if he even runs, people are scared, like, no, get down, like, don't get hit. It's like, bro, you drafted him because he's a dynamic athlete, because he can do both. But now, when he's on your team, you want him to just be Joe Flacco.
Let's get into some over-unders, and let's get into our score predictions and MVP. So we're gonna start with the over-unders. Let's see what we got on the board, bro. I may actually go through. Let me double check before I even do that. Where is Cowboys? Okay, Dallas is 10.5-point underdogs. All right, here we go. Passing yards. Jaden Daniels, over or under 225 yards. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. Over or under 222.5 yards.
Over.
My mic was muted. Over.
Okay. Cooper Rush, 212 and a half.
Under.
Okay. B-Rob, 68 and a half rushing yards. Over, under.
Over. I know what AJ gonna say. He might as well just go ahead and say under.
Nah, I'm gonna say over. I'm gonna say over.
Yeah, I think he's getting over too. Jaden Daniels, 43.5 rushing yards.
Over.
Under. That boy got 23 yards in the last 2 games, right?
That's why I think he do.
Nah.
I'm gonna say under. Say under.
I think the passing game gonna be so easy, they ain't even gonna have to think about running.
Yeah, I'm gonna say under. All right, let's go to receiving. CeeDee Lamb, 67.5 receiving yards.
Over.
Under.
Under.
They gonna force the hell out of him.
Yeah, he's gonna be strapped up.
By who?
He gonna be double teamed, bro.
Yeah, you can play bracket coverage on him.
He ain't getting the ball. Somebody
else
gonna have
you worried about on that team? You ain't worried about nobody else on that team.
Terry McLaurin, 59.5.
Over.
Under.
Okay.
Is there one for Turpin?
Nope, not on this one. No.
Well,
he must be on the injury report. Is he on the injury report? I'm about to check.
I got Turpin getting over 40 yards.
Nah, he's not on there.
So you got Cooper Rush having a big day then?
Hell no.
Where we at? Rico Dowdle, 51.5 rushing yards. Over under.
Under
51.5. Damn, bro. First of all, are they getting 100 yards on a day, Dre?
Hey, I got them at maybe 250 yards total for the day. Maybe. That's my over under.
I got Rico Diddy at under.
Rico Diddy. Damn. He gonna be close, bro. See, I'm gonna go over, bro. Maybe like 55, 56, something like that. Maybe 60. Okay. There's more there, but that you gotta be a real gambler to look at these. All right, we're gonna stop there. Fellas, score predictions. Where we at, man? Who we got winning? What's the score? Who's the MVP?
All right, I'll start. I think this is a big win for Washington. Big bounce back game. Okay. And I'm gonna go big with it, man. I'm going 38-13 Washington. MVP is the man that everyone's doubting right now, and that's Jaden Daniels. He's staking his claim back for his rookie of the year. You know, he's gonna get the Pepsi Rookie of the Week again this week. You know, we back. So
how many weeks in a row did we give Jaden Daniels MVP, bro?
It's hard to give it to anyone else.
We give him one every week, even when they lose.
I can't give it to anyone.
If it wasn't for that man, this is probably a top 3 in the 2025 draft.
We talking about Shedeur Sanders right now.
Shedeur.
Or Cam Ward.
Okay. All right. So what was your score again, AJ?
38-13.
Okay. All right, AJ, where you at?
I'm at 37-10. Washington. I think MVP is definitely Jaden Daniels, and then from a defensive standpoint, Louvu. Ooch.
Okay. Uche. Okay. All right, so I see 42-13 from Benz. But who your MVP, bro? Okay, so I'm gonna go. We all got blowouts, huh? I'm gonna do
close game.
I'm gonna do 30. I'm gonna do 30 to 14. I think they scored 2 touchdowns.
So Washington covers.
Washington covers. Yep, they cover, but 30 to 14, Washington. I think the MVP is probably gonna end up being B-Rob.
Oh my God. You gotta be trolling, dog.
It's not far-fetched, AJ. Come on now.
you just said you had the under on Jaden Daniels rushing yards, and you gave your reason why. You said the passing yards, they ain't got to worry about running with Jaden, but also they've been the last 2 weeks. Well, first off, last week specifically, they ain't been able to run the ball effectively. They're going to get back to the ground game. They're going to try and give these running backs over 30 touches. I'm giving B-Rob the MVP. I will go Eckler, but they're gonna rely on B-Rob, bro. He gonna get hurt again, bang his knee up. He's gonna be out for another 3 weeks.
Hey, at least they'll have Jamal Ford's MVP trophy.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy, bro? I'm more so mad that he ain't about to get a stack. That's what I needed. That's what I wanted for B-Rob. Not needed. Yeah. That's what I wanted, bro.
We got a bet on that, right?
Oh,
I don't know if we had a bet.
Y'all gotta put it in writing next time.
I'm about to say, I don't know if we had a bet. I know we talked about it for sure. Because if we had a bet, I would remember because we for sure ain't talking about no injuries. The man that missed like 3-4 games. Just go ahead, backtrack on episodes. I ain't gonna do the homework.
Man,
you gotta do it.
Yeah, I gotta remember.
I'm about to say you gotta do it. I ain't going.
I just know that we had a bet on B-Rob. I don't know what it was entailing. I don't gamble, so I don't know. Okay. I just yeah. I mean,
see, if we had a producer for the show and it's not just Mual, they can probably find it for us. But okay. All right, so B-Rob, my MVP on offense. You mentioned Frankie Louvu defensively, so if I give a defensive MVP, I might go Mikey, bro. Sanger still, bro. He probably gonna have plenty of. He gonna probably have plenty of looks against CD Lamb, and I think that boy. I mean, look, you get the confidence booster against AJ Brown and Devontae Smith in your one-on-ones, your big moments, and you shut them boys down. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing, bro. You might get an MVP this week. Get you another pick.
If y'all doing defensive MVPs, I'm going with Dante Fowler, the former Cowboy. I think he'll have a big game against his former team. And my last thing on the Cowboys, because it's Cowboy week, and I got family members who are Cowboys fans, and I'm mentioning this specifically because my nephew, my 19-year-old nephew, I think he's 20 now. Yeah, he just turned 20. Beautiful boy. But he's a big Cowboy fan. And he told me this week, he said, Uncle Andre, I watch your podcast every week y'all lose, and it was glorious last week. He said, you look so salty on the show after that loss. He said, I only watch your podcast after you lose.
Wow.
So, hey,
that's some big hater energy, bro. Wow.
That's my nephew, man. So, look, I hope my nephew watches this, but he may not because we'll probably blow him out.
Hey, just send him the stream when it's over, bro. Just make sure you got
tell him to call in. Tell him to call in.
Hey, that's funny,
you know what? I should tell my nephew.
Yeah, that'd be some great content.
Hey, that's some hater.
What's your nephew's name?
Jalen.
Tell nephew Jalen to call in Sunday after Jaden tears the Cowboys ass up.
Yes, hey, I'm gonna have Jalen call.
I'm glad he young, bro, because they got about 5 more years of being some shit. And he's gonna have to deal with that, bro.
Yes. He might come back over to the commander side.
Come back over. Okay. He was over here once at one point.
So I used to buy him Redskin when he was a little boy. I used to buy him Redskin stuff. We got pictures of him Redskin stuff. But see, his mom a Cowboy fan, so she got in his head too much, man. My sister got in his head too much.
He rebelled, bro. Okay.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's like my sister, bro. My sister and my cousin, bro. They rebelled. They was older than me, so like they was the only Cowboys fans in the family.
It's my sister and uncle. She followed my uncle's footsteps, and they are the biggest haters you will ever know.
I already know. Tales of the DMV. Damn. Okay. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for us. Appreciate everybody who tapped in live. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Same thing with the people who are tapping on the replay and on the audio side. Make sure you hit that follow button. Hit us with a rating review. We will be back Sunday evening. Post game immediately after the game is over on your boy B-Day. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna make sure this is shake because we still gotta work, man. So we'll be back live then. Commander's morning show Friday morning. So tomorrow, 6 a.m. sharp. Be there for the early birds. That's gonna wrap it up for us. Y'all be safe, and we out here. Peace. Trap it down. Trap.
down. Trap it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Chop it down. You gon' chop it down. Damn, set, watch him throw the ball. We gon' pick it off. You gon' let him hit the hole or you gon' cut it off. You gon' play through 4th and long or you gon' punt it off. Your defenders, heavy hitters, put your pads in. Don't be looking for the ref to throw no flags in. Keep the helmet on, keep the cleats tight. You the type to want to win by any means, right? You should look alive. This is Trap or Die.